Today I'm participating in an open collaboration called Mixing It Up in the Kitchen, hosted by Brenda over at Maniac Grammy's Homestead. And please go show her some love and check out all her videos on this collaboration. Also, anybody else participating in the collaboration, and please share out my video as well. Today we are making turkey tacos, and this is Nature's Promise 93% lean, 7% fat ground turkey. It is a 1 pound package, and it says you should get 4 servings of 4 ounces each. That would be 160 calories, 7 grams of fat, 24 grams of protein, less than 1 gram of carbohydrate, and no grams of sugar. So you can tell why I'm using this. 24 grams of protein is excellent for me trying to eat a high protein, low carb diet. So I will be using my own homemade taco seasoning mix, and I will link the description, the recipe in the description for the taco seasoning. I am going to spray my pan with some pan cooking spray, only because this does not have much fat in it at all, and we don't want it to stick. We turn on about a medium-ish heat, and I will be using my handy dandy meat breaker upper, I call it, because you do want to crumble this up. Now, turkey, as I said, a lot leaner than ground beef, so you really have to get it crumbled up. And this is thawed out. I do buy it and freeze it, and then I thaw it out. This is pretty loose. It should break up very easily. Be right back. Alright, and you just push down and turn. It will get stuck on the utensil, and you will have to, let me move this out of the way. You will have to kind of bang it to get it off of there, but you do want to just kind of move it around so you're breaking it up. Now, I will tell you this, I usually don't even have to drain my ground turkey when I'm done cooking it, because it doesn't make much grease at all. And then I add a little bit of water, and then I add in my seasoning mix. But you drain yours if you feel you need to. And we'll look at it when it's done and see if I need to drain it or not. I can drain it, it's not an issue. Okay, so I got it pretty well broke up. I have my favorite spatula. It is a metal spatula. Okay, sorry about that. I actually cut it off when my alarm went off. So, again, you're browning the ground turkey. Now, I like to eat this with vegetables, and I like to make it in the, I buy the 0 carb tortillas, which I happen to be out of right now. But you can use any kind of tortilla you like. You can even use tortilla chips and make it like a nacho type thing. I do put a little cheddar cheese, melt a little cheddar cheese on my taco meat after I'm done cooking it. Not everybody likes that, but I do. So I usually go ahead and do that at the end. You can tell it is already starting to brown up. Now, this is not going to get as dark as your ground beef will get, but you will definitely be able to tell that it is cooked. And I'm going to be quiet, and I'll play a little music here while we finish browning this meat. I keep saying grounding because it's ground turkey. Okay, it is pretty well browned. There is hardly any even water or anything in here because it has cooked down. I've got my vent fan on because it is putting out some steam. I don't want my fire alarm going off. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in the taco seasoning. Again, measure with your heart. You'll know how hot or mild your mix is, and so you'll know how much to add. I'm not a real, oops, well, that went on the floor. Not a real hot and spicy kind of gal, so I don't really like it all that hot, but I am going to kind of move that around in there. Oh, it smells absolutely wonderful. And because I make my own mix, I know exactly what is in there. I know that there is not a lot of salt and there is not any preservatives. All 100% natural spices. So, much healthier for you. And I really like to know what I'm eating. All right. There we have it. And it is pretty well all coated with the seasoning. Like I said, you can add more or less. And you can tell if there's not grease accumulated on the top or anything like that. It is very dry, which is how I like mine. All right. Sorry about that if that made you dizzy. I wanted you to be able to see into the pan. And it is getting a little bit browner now because all of what little bit of liquid was in there is cooking out. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off, move it off the burner. And I'll go ahead and show you how I'm going to eat mine today. I like to use these little glass mugs as a bowl. And I will get a spoon. And I will get my cheddar cheese. And I will take just a little bit. I'm not going to measure it today. I normally would be using my scale to measure it. Then I'm going to put a little bit of cheese, not that much cheese at all. Kind of mix that about. You can even use lettuce and do a lettuce wrap taco. And I just kind of let that melt just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and turn my vent fan off. Hope it wasn't too loud. I do have a very sensitive smoke detector that does go off on me quite often. All right, and now the cheese is starting to melt. I'm going to let that cool just a minute, and I will have a good taste. Perfectly seasoned. Exactly how I like it. Not too hot, just mild. Delicious. Now, I'll put this in a container, put it in the refrigerator, and I will have it whenever I want. I'll heat it up and I'll put a little cheese on it, either with a tortilla or a lettuce wrap, or even just like this. It does make you feel like you're eating tacos. Very good. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, mix it up in the kitchen. And that is Brenda at Grammy's Home Maniac. Boy, I messed that all up. Again, it's hashtag Mix It Up in the Kitchen by Brenda at Maniacs Grammys Homestead. Please go visit her channel. I'll see you in the next one.
Gonna live my best life through the haze, under the sun or in the rain. Happiness is choice, not a chain. Age ain't nothing but a tale. Mindset's what sets the sail. Under any sky